YouTube changes lives. It changed my life. It's changed lives for countless people. If you're looking to make changes in your own life, and perhaps using YouTube to do that, or if you're just curious as to how YouTube is changing lives, then this video is for you. I'm going to explain the 5 phases you can expect to go through, as well as how I went through them, and also some tips and tricks to help you get through it more smoothly than I did. It starts with a little spark. You became interested in YouTube just like I did. For me, I had been watching YouTube videos. I didn't know much about it, not even how subscribers worked. But I started to learn that people were making a living with this. And at the time, I was a freelancer. I was editing videos for other people. I didn't have my own YouTube channel. And I wasn't loving what I was doing. It was a lot of hard work. And I was helping other people grow their businesses, basically. And I was working for an hourly wage. So I guess the spark with me, I've always been kind of business minded. I've run small businesses in the past. So I started to look at the opportunity and I'd see these creators and the fact that they were earning full-time incomes with YouTube. And at first, if we're sticking with the spark, at first I didn't know that, right? I didn't know. I just figured it was a hobby, and I also figured it was for younger people. I thought I was too old for YouTube. I was in my mid-40s when I first became aware of this, and it just started to intrigue me. What is this? Are there older people like me doing YouTube, and how? So I started to do research. And when I say research, I started to watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's basically the research. And then I got into watching videos, how to make YouTube videos. And then I got into, cameras and lighting and tripods and video editing and all these things, right? I was interested, and it was kind of along the lines of what I was doing anyways. So anyway, for me, that was my spark. But for you, it might be something totally different. Maybe you heard a story from somebody who you've heard is making lots of money on YouTube, or maybe money isn't even the thing. Maybe, somebody has a huge following and you love that idea. Or maybe somebody picked it up as a hobby to do, after hours, like outside of their regular work, or in retirement, right? A lot of people do YouTube as a hobby. Legacy is a great reason to do YouTube, to build your own legacy for your family. Right? Just recording yourself. So whatever it is, it starts with a spark for everybody. Something is going to trigger you to decide, oh, I wonder if this is something I should look into a little bit more. So the next thing that happens is you make a video or 2 or 3 or whatever. You start making videos and you figure out maybe how to create your own YouTube channel. Right? A lot of people, when they start, they're not really starting with any intention in mind. They're just playing. They're just trying to figure out how it all works. And that's kind of how I started. And I'm still talking about the spark phase. Make some videos and see if they get any views. You probably tell your friends and family about them. Like, go check out my videos. I've got videos on the internet now. Right? So it's exciting and it's kind of fun, or it was for me. So yeah, those early days when the spark is still new, and everything is exciting, whatever your reasons are for starting YouTube, whether it's to make money or just to grow a following or just a place to put your videos. It's exciting, it's new technology, and especially for us older people. I count myself in that group. I usually say over 40, even though I'm over 50. But yeah, it's something that a lot of us older people think that YouTube has always been more for the younger generations, right? And why would us older people have a YouTube channel? Like, what's the point? That's not what we do. That's not what we grew up doing. But you kind of figure all that stuff out in the spark phase, or maybe you don't. Maybe in the spark phase, you're still thinking, I feel kind of silly doing this YouTube thing. I'm interested in it, but my family and my friends probably wouldn't understand. So maybe I won't even tell them. Or some of you may tell them, but don't really know where you're going with it anyways, and don't really understand everything about it. And then, you start having troubles answering questions about it. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I thought you had a job. I thought what's going on? Like, they don't see it as a hobby like some of us do. okay? Or as a business opportunity like some of us do. They see it more as maybe, I think in a lot of cases, people think of it as maybe a way for us older folks to maybe recapture some of our youth and trying to act younger than we really are by making videos and talking to a camera like I'm doing now. Like, is this something us older people are supposed to be doing? You know, like some people, that's some people's reaction, and how you react to those reactions, you know, is different for everybody. So anyways, that's the spark phase. And for me, it was a way to perhaps change what I did for a living, from making videos for other people to making my own videos and growing my own community. The struggle phase can take years. Okay, I'll just say that right up front. And for me, I'm going to say it took 3 years. And I want to help you maybe not have it take that long for you by sharing my experience. When you start posting videos to YouTube, you're probably going to have expectations, or maybe not, but I think for most people, that comes with expectations. The struggle begins when you realize you're not meeting those expectations. Some advice for you would be to not put any expectations on yourself, especially in the early months, your early videos. People's struggles are different. Like, everybody has different struggles. You may struggle with your confidence on camera. You may struggle with the video editing, or you may struggle with the results that you're not getting, perhaps. You know, maybe you think, my video is every bit as good as this video over here, yet they've got, 1,000 views and I have 2, right? That can be hard to reconcile. That can be a hard thing to process. Like, what are you doing wrong? And with that comes doubt. And with doubt and expectations not being met, what happens to a lot of people is they'll quit. And that happened to me. Back in January 2021, I posted my first video. In fact, I posted 9 videos that month, okay? I started with what I thought was a bang. Everything I had heard was, start strong, be consistent. I thought I was being consistent by posting more than I realistically could into the future, right? 9 videos in 1 month, that's a lot. And what did I get from that? I got 3 subscribers and 7.2 watch hours. 3 subscribers and 7.2 watch hours after 9 videos in 1 month. Now you can imagine how much time that took. 9 videos, so what is that? That's over 2 a week. For somebody who had not been making videos at all, for myself, it was a lot of work. And the results I got were not expected. There were no results. I was disheartened and I gave up. It then took me 3 years to post 25 more videos. Okay, I averaged less than 1 video a month for 3 years after I started. All right, that's not consistent. Okay, I had heard or I had seen videos that suggested consistency is the key. You've got to be consistent with posting videos. And I guess my mistake was thinking being consistent meant hitting the ground hard, like running, and just making as many videos as I could, and every week, like make videos every week. And I did that for only 4 weeks though. I think if I were to do it again, I would put a plan together that would allow me to continue posting 1 video a week sustainably for many months. That is being consistent, and that would have grown my channel much quicker. So yeah, for me, the struggle took, I picture my struggle as being 3 years long. I wasn't getting the views I wanted. I wasn't getting the watch hours. The subscriber count did continue to go up just because of time. Basically, those first videos that I posted existed for 3 years. So naturally, they're going to get people subscribing to them, right? And the videos that I was making were not vlog style. They were how-to videos. And people were searching for how to, edit videos. That's what I was doing. So yeah, and if somebody watches a video like that and they got the information they needed, perhaps then they would subscribe in the hopes that I would come out with more videos, which I wasn't doing. So yeah, the subscriber count was going up, and after 3.5 years, I think I was at 2,800 or close to 3,000 subscribers. But again, they were kind of, I look at them as kind of hollow because it took so long to get that many. You know, many of them subscribed like a couple years earlier, and you know, I wasn't being consistent with the videos. So, you know, if you've got a group of subscribers, and say half of them subscribed to you in the early days when you were making, you know, content A, and the other half subscribed more recently where you're making, you know, your newer content, you know, all of your subscribers aren't going to be interested in your next video, right? The longer time goes on, the less and less the total number of subscribers you have even really matters, okay? What matters is who's watching your videos today, whether they're subscribed or not. And the obvious disappointment for me was I wasn't monetized, right? So even though I had over 1,000 subscribers, I was not close to the 4,000 watch hours because I wasn't being consistent, and because I wasn't monetized, and because I wasn't building any back-end business to go along with this. I had made no money in 3.5 years. So disheartening. For those of you who are in this for the money, there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of people are, but you have to understand that the money, you cannot think of YouTube as an hourly wage job. That's just not the way it works. It's more like a small business. Okay, if you want to earn an income from this into the future and beyond the future, you have to think of it as a business. You're not going to get paid early on, and the way, if it helps, the way to think about the early struggle years, for me it was years, for you hopefully months, the way to think about that is your payment, the payment that you get is in skills, the skills you develop, okay? By making videos, you will be learning how to make better videos. So, you know, maybe posting 3 videos a week is unrealistic. It was for me because I was also working basically full-time as a freelance video editor. So to then be making 2 to 3 videos every week, that's a huge time commitment, especially for somebody who hadn't been doing YouTube for very long. I just started. So, you know, I didn't have systems in place. I wasn't able to make them fast. It took me a long time. And, you know, I didn't see the results. So I didn't see the results, but I see them now, right? So, like all the videos that I made, so that first month when I made those 9, and then many months later when I made my other ones, like all of that was good. It taught me how to make videos. It taught me camera confidence, right? The more videos I make, the better I'll get on camera, the better I'll get at editing videos, even though I was already editing them for other people. But just all the skills, like how to hold your camera on a tripod and not put the sun right in your face, right, when you're trying to talk. All these things you learn over time by doing. And I didn't even talk about it. Phase 0 was when I was doing all of my research leading up to when I started. What was phase 1 called? The spark. So phase 0, let's call phase 0, I don't know, education. I guess that's part of the spark. Anyways, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's just move on to the next phase. At some point, you're going to see a shift. You're going to see a shift in the number of views you're getting on your videos. You're going to start to recognize trends, right? You're going to start to understand which titles are working for you. In the early years, you're kind of guessing. You're taking ideas from other people, which you should. There's nothing wrong with that, but you know, it's kind of hit and miss. You don't really know what's going to work. You see a title work for somebody that doesn't work for you, and then maybe you see a title that works for you, but it was something that you didn't get from anybody else, right? It's just all confusing. But a shift is going to happen where you're going to start to understand what is working, and you're going to be able to do more and more of that. Growth is going to start to happen. And when I say growth, I'm talking about not only the number of subscribers that you get, that's part of it, but how, you know, the fact that your viewers are watching your videos for longer periods of time. Their watch hours are starting to grow. The speed at which you can edit will get better and increase. The amount of editing that you do might change when you realize that some of the editing you were doing is just so time consuming that you've discovered it's a waste of your time, and so you change your ways. The more things like this you start to use in your day-to-day video making, the better you'll get. You're going to stop trying to be a YouTuber or a content creator, and you're just going to start being one naturally. Everything's going to come more naturally to you, more effortless. Doesn't that sound good? If you're struggling out there, doesn't that sound good? Yeah, it does. March of 2024 is when I started making videos consistently. I had seen enough evidence that this would work. Okay, it wasn't working on my channel yet. The number of subscribers were, but not the watch time, not the getting monetized. And I started to think about what else could I be doing to grow a business behind this. So I put this new plan in place March 2024, over 3 years after I should have. But maybe I needed that time. Maybe I needed that time to figure things out. And again, I'm hoping to speed that part of it up for you with this video. For me, I scaled back my freelance work and I started making videos 3 times a week. I'm not saying that's what you have to do. For me, that worked. And I made a commitment. Took a bit of a risk, but it's what I wanted to do. And I was confident that I'd be able to do it. So for me, I went 3 videos a week, and I started doing live streams every week, consistently. And when I say consistently, remember back in January 2021 when 9 videos in the first month and then nothing, right? Well, starting late March of 2024, I did that 3 videos, 1 live stream every week consistently for, I'm going to talk about the next 4 months. So March, April, May, June, those 4 months of 2024. And the growth was happening. It started slow, but I was starting to track it. I could see it. The number of subscribers that I was getting every month started to go up from where it was. Again, that's not the most important thing. What I thought was the most important thing at the time, and to some extent it was the watch hours. They really started to grow. And I think part of that also was the fact that the live streams were tying in nicely to the videos I was making, right? I was able to provide extra help to the people I was making videos for in the live streams. And I started to get a lot of watch hours from those. So everything started to grow and it started to compound, and people started to comment more. And what I can tell you is, in this phase, things just get easier. People start giving you ideas. You don't have to spend as much time coming up with the ideas anymore. People are giving them to you in the comments, in the live stream chat, if you end up doing that, which I highly recommend, by the way. But anyway, just because it worked for me, so I'm a big believer in live streams. Not totally necessary, but I just think it very helpful. So while this shift was happening, subscribers were growing, watch hours were growing, and I knew I had it mapped out. As long as I continued to do what I was doing, I was going to get monetized by the end of May, early June, and that's exactly what happened. No viral video, that wasn't necessary. Just consistency, just being consistent, showing up, being helpful. I think that's huge. So the magic of YouTube is not in going viral, but it's really in you discovering who you are and what you have to say, basically. Once you figure that out, YouTube gets so much easier. And that all happens in the shift. The breakthrough is really an extension of the shift, but it's like the later stages of the shift. It's when you start to see the effects of compounding growth, right? You may have been happy to be getting 50 new subscribers a month, just as an example. And as long as you keep on that path, great. But compounding growth means 50 one month, then 100 the next month, 500 the month after that, and maybe 5,000 the month after that. And I'm not saying it will always continue to exponentially go up like that. That doesn't happen. There's ups and downs, whether we're talking about subscribers, watch hours, views, whatever. There's ups and downs. So don't, if you start seeing things go up, that's awesome, but don't get too used to it. But you can start to see this happening. What happens is it starts taking far less effort to see increasing results, right? In the early days, it might have taken you, I don't know, like maybe you were making 2 videos a week and you were getting 20 views, right? And after several months, you're still just getting 20 views, sometimes 5 views. Maybe you'd have a peak, one will go up to 100 and you'd be happy, but then the next one gets 15, right? No consistency. And, consistency is hard to come by, and you can't really expect it. But what I'm saying is when the breakthrough happens, you'll post a video that maybe you threw together last minute. Admittedly, I do that sometimes when I feel like I should come up with another video, but what do I say? I'm not sure. And I don't put near as much effort into it as I used to, even though I still think there's value in what I'm making. But a low effort video like that, where I don't do very much editing, still could get 5,000 views in a day, right? That might make you feel a couple of different ways. If you are in the struggle stage and you're hearing this, you might just think, oh, I don't want to hear another success story. You're making millions of dollars, you're getting millions of views, you're not putting any effort into it. I don't want to hear that anymore. And I totally get that. And I'm not saying that to either brag or to make you feel bad. I'm more saying it to try to give you hope that is what's down the road. Okay, that is where you're headed if you don't quit and if you stick with it. A breakthrough will happen. The struggle phase is a long phase. For me, again, it was over 3 years. It might take you that long. It might take you longer, but it might not. If you can figure out what schedule works best for you, what frequency of making new videos, and above all, if you can figure out what to talk about in your videos, spend some time, like sit down and brainstorm what it is you can. If you're having trouble coming up with an idea, just think about what it is you can talk about for a long time. Like, what do you talk about with your friends when you're alone with your friends, or when you're out at night, or an evening out with your friends? What do you talk about, right? Do you just talk about the weather, or is there something specific that not that there's anything wrong with talking about the weather. You can make a video, videos on that if you want, but there's got to be something that everybody has something they're passionate about. And for those who say you don't have anything you're passionate about, consider picking up a new hobby. And again, I don't mean that in a mean way either. I'm just saying, like, for example, if you, I don't know, I'm just going to pick guitar. Like, let's say you don't have any clue how to play a guitar. No clue. Maybe you like listening to music, and that's as close to you being a guitar player as you've ever been. Maybe that's something you want to pick up and learn how to do. I mean, you can learn how to do anything on YouTube today, anything, guitar included. Get yourself an inexpensive guitar and start taking lessons. I'm just using that as an example. It could be anything. It could be crochet, right? It could be learning how to sail. It could be training for a marathon, or walking 10K. I don't know. It could be anything. How to cook, how to bake, how to play golf, whatever it is. Even if you've never done it before, consider picking up a hobby, and then you can document your journey in learning how to do that thing. Let's say guitar again. Let's say you just picked up the guitar and you opened up a YouTube video and you're learning a chord and how to put your fingers on the strings. Right? Make a video about it. There's other people out there who are probably interested in learning how to play guitar, and they don't want to learn from an expert. They'd like to learn how somebody learned how to play a guitar from scratch. So you can make videos on that. So whatever it is. Anyways, I didn't mean to talk about that for as long as I did, but there you go. After your breakthrough, you're going to notice a shift in your identity. And you may just figure this out on your own, or somebody else might say something to you that resonates with you. It might say, oh, you're a YouTuber, or I understand you're a content creator, or whatever it is. It might be somebody you know, it might be somebody just in the comments, I'd love to be a creator like you, right? However it happens to you, that shift in identity, you're going to go from thinking or from feeling like you want to be a YouTuber or a creator to actually being one. You're going to think like one. You're going to understand that you are a creator. And that's awesome. Like, congratulations. For me, I almost feel like that happened at the same time as I was breaking through. I started to see myself as a content creator. I had been doing it for several years on and off. But I wasn't full-time at it at that point. It only took a few more months before I was, and I started to create the back-end stuff, the business, created a course, started to make good money through AdSense, things like that. But again, that might not even be your whole reason for doing YouTube. Maybe you don't even want to do it as a business, but still, at some point, you will understand that you are a creator, and you can look back. You can look back at the early phases and say, wow, I have come a long way, and you can be proud about that. This is totally something that you can do now and into 2026. I know there's a lot of videos out there, a lot of warning type videos about AI, or people's views are going down, what's going on. There's confusion among creators. But try to see through the noise. YouTube is still a completely viable path for anybody who wants to choose it. And it's rewarding. It's really rewarding, and it could be rewarding both internally and financially if you want that. I'd even go so far to say as YouTube is easier to be successful at today than it was a few years ago. Just everything about it is easier now. Is there more competition? Sure, there's more competition, and there's competition from AI, but I don't even look at that as all that competitive. Sure, there's AI tools that even I use, but I'm not worried about not being able to be a creator because of AI. Not worried about that at all. There's always going to be demand for people being real on the internet, on YouTube, in videos, sharing advice, helping other people out, right? Yes, AI is going to play an increasing role in being helpful to people, but there's that connection factor too, right? People can't connect with AI like they can connect with a real person, even if that real person is through a video, right, and not in person. AI will never replace that. I don't believe it. So yeah, there's still plenty of opportunities, and to those who say, well, niches are saturated. There's already too many videos out there. Like, who wants another video on, how to figure skate or whatever? To that, I'll say, sure, there's more and more creators coming online and creating, but there's also more and more people coming online and watching, right? YouTube is more and more being ingrained in everybody's everyday lives. Not just young people anymore, older people. In fact, the older generations are flocking to YouTube, I'd argue, faster than the younger generations, right? Younger generations are being born and they're coming up through with YouTube, but older people who perhaps never even looked at YouTube before, not only are they jumping right into YouTube, but people as they get older are graduating into that age group, right? So I have no concerns about the market size or the market potential of people watching my videos or anybody else's videos. What you need to be concerned about is getting better at making videos, okay? Making videos, like staying within your lane too, like making videos that your audience will resonate with. I hope you found this helpful. My name is Rob, and I make videos like this to try to inspire you to create your own YouTube channels or to grow an existing one. And I also do live streams on Tuesdays. If you're interested, stop in, say hi, ask a question. Hopefully I can answer it. But yeah, my name is Rob. If you're new here, welcome. It's nice to meet you. If you're returning, then welcome back. I appreciate the support. And that said, I'll see you in another video. All right, take care. Bye.